I set $14,000 on fire as part of a failed film project. And here's the 3 lessons that I learned as a part of that. All right, so welcome back to my filmmaking channel. This is all about my journey as being an independent filmmaker. I am becoming the industry. I am the industry as opposed to chasing the industry. I'm no longer pursuing like the traditional screenwriting path of like, fellowships and chasing agents and managers. And I'm no longer pursuing that. What I'm doing now is just making my films on my own. I'm doing it on my own. I'm no longer networking or doing those things anymore. I am not chasing the industry. I am the industry. So let's get right into that. Thank you guys so much for being here. Please like this video and subscribe to this channel and become a part of this community as we build a larger base for BIPOC creators like myself so that we can be the industry instead of chasing the industry. Okay, so today's video is about the 3 major errors I made and the 3 lessons I learned from it. So let's get right into that. And by the way, I am being a little bit overly dramatic. The film did come out pretty good. It got terrible reviews on Reddit and other filmmaking spaces. It didn't look quite as big and as cinematic as I had envisioned in my head. And that's why I say it failed, but I am being overly dramatic when I say that. I think it came out pretty good. The cast is amazing. The script is amazing. I'm very thankful to have been able to work with those people. And it came out pretty good, although it did not meet my expectations, cinematically or visually, and it did not move my career forward too much. I thought that it would, but yeah. So mistake number 1 and lesson number 1, hiring a company to do what I could have done on my own. The fatal error that I made was not trusting in myself. I hired a cinematography company to come kind of film it for me. And again, I'm not here to start drama, but that company underperformed big time. And the overarching emotion that I left with after working with that company was, man, I could have did this on my own. I could have bought my own camera. For the money I paid him, I could have bought my own stuff and did it on my own, which is what I'm doing now. I bought my own cinema camera. I bought my own lighting equipment and sound and all kinds of things, gimbals and drones and all that. And I'm going to be doing it on my own from now on. And I'm really excited about that. But at the time, it was like I still had a mindset of, okay, I'm chasing the industry. I'm trying to break into the industry. If I hire someone in the industry, then I'll make a great film. And then I'll be able to expand from that in some way. But what I realized is that I shouldn't be saying I'm chasing the industry. I should have been saying I am the industry, because when I was like looking for a company to hire, I was thinking, okay, I'm not good enough to make a film on my own. I can't do this. I don't know how to do lighting and cinematography, and I don't know how to make you look big and cinematic, and I don't think that I have what it takes within me. So I just kind of paid someone else to do it, and I was searching around for different companies. And they were all giving me different prices and different opinions. And I sent my script out to them, trying to hire them. And some of them tried to change my script. And some of them were just on some bullshit. And it was messy. Before the company that I did wind up hiring, before I met them, I met with about a dozen other ones, via Zoom and other, networking. But I met them and it just wasn't moving forward. And they were just like, they had so many different like creative ideas that were not meshing. And some told me my script was bad. And some of them tried to sell me on services that I wasn't interested in. And it was really messy. But the thing is, I came in thinking, I'm trying to make this look as high quality and professional as possible. I didn't have a cinema camera. So when I started out by watching a bunch of YouTube tutorials on how to do a high quality film, and I didn't even have a really solid idea in my head of what high quality meant. I didn't want it to look like some like funky Instagram skit filmed out of somebody's apartment, which I mean on many levels that's what it is, but I wanted to look bigger and more cinematic than that, and I didn't really think I had it in myself to actually film something on that level. Now I've filmed movies out of my apartment before, but I've never done like a bigger cinematic film, and that's why I wanted to hire a company, because I didn't think I had what it takes. But it turns out, like, I went and bought my own camera, I went and did all these things. Like, I do have what it takes. I do have the know-how. But when I was first watching all those like YouTube tutorials on like, you know, cinematography and lighting and what kind of camera, it was just all so overwhelming. And like, I started asking for opinions, and when you go on social media and ask for opinions, people want to talk down to you. They want to say, oh, well, it's not about the camera, it's about your skills, but the camera does matter. And some people say it doesn't matter. And it's like, it was just so much, I didn't really know what to do. And I didn't feel like I had it with myself. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to hire a company. They're going to be professional. They're going to do it. So I met this company through a friend who came very well recommended. And I got to tell you, man, the company really, it was hit or miss. Like a lot of times it was good, but a lot of times they underperformed big time. And it was just, I mean, being quite frank, about half of the work was kind of messy, and it was really just not, I was really disappointed by some of the quality of the work, okay? There really isn't a polite way of putting that. So what am I doing now? I bought my own camera, bought my own everything, all my equipment. I bought all of it on my own, and now I'm going to be doing this on my own. And I think I can do a much better job, at least as good a job as that guy did. But I think the lesson I learned was you got to trust in yourself. Stop asking 50 million opinions. Stop going on social media asking for 1,000 opinions, 1,000 reviews, watching 1 million YouTube gear review videos. That is amateur. That's what amateurs do. Professionals just do the work. Amateurs are the ones on YouTube watching 1 million comparison videos. Amateurs are the ones on Reddit asking for 1 million opinions. Professionals just do their work. And that's what I should have been doing. Trust that you know what you're doing and you have the capability within yourself to get it done. That's what I should have been doing. Not watching tutorials, not watching reviews, not seeking for somebody, not seeking to hire somebody that was just going to do what I always could have done for myself. You got to trust in yourself and stop seeking success outside of yourself. Okay, mistake number 2 was not being enough of a leader. There were now during this film, there were a lot of things that I thought were not the best way of doing things. That my cinematographer was telling me, I want to do it like this, I want to do that, I want to sing like this. And I didn't think it looked very good. I didn't think it was the right move, or I just didn't like it creatively. And I kind of just like deferred to him because I had it in my head that like he's the big professional that he presented himself as, and that he came, and actually that's how he was recommended to me by a friend. And I thought, okay, it's going to be great. I'm just going to let him like decide. But there were definitely times where I wanted it to look a certain way, or or I wanted business to be conducted in a particular way, and he was like, no, we're not doing that. And I kind of just allowed that, which I should not have done. I should have been much, much more of a leader and said, no, we're not doing that. Also, some of his film equipment was really, really cumbersome and really, really unnecessary. He had a Dana Dolly. A Dana Dolly is this like ginormous like set of rails that you push a camera on to get smooth cinematic shots. But it takes up about half my apartment. And it was really obnoxious, and it took a whole lot of time for him to maneuver that thing around. And every time we want to change the shot or change the angle, he has to tear down the dolly, take all the parts apart, move it, put it together, build it back up, screw it back on. It was a huge waste of time. And I think that, honestly, I was paying this guy by the day. So part of me thinks he was just like doing stuff that takes a long time, just like extending the number of days I was paying him for. It's like a lawyer or a car mechanic who kind of like runs up the number of labor hours that they're charging you for. It's like they know you can't prove anything otherwise, so they kind of just like see what they can get away with. But I think that, now I don't know that for a fact. Maybe he does do that because that's just his style, but. And also, this guy, I shouldn't make this video all about like complaining about him, but he would want to get like for each scene, he would want to get like 5 different camera angles and like 7 takes per camera angle, and that was really time consuming as well. Like there were times where I thought, okay, we got the scene, let's move on. He was like, wait, let's do 2 more takes just for fun. And I'm like, okay, fine, just do it. Okay, fine, whatever. I'm kind of just like letting him run the day and not being a leader in myself. But that was a huge mistake because it wound up taking a lot longer and costing a whole lot more than what he originally quoted me in the original cost breakdown. And I think that like going forward, I'm going to be much more of a leader. Stop again. And my second lesson is it goes back to the first lesson, like seeing it within yourself, not looking outside of other people for leadership or success or guidance. It's just like what do you think, John? What do you think? And also, I should say, back to the first lesson, like going on social media and asking for a million opinions is really amateur, That's not what professionals do. They kind of just go with themselves and like, what do they think? What do they feel? Not crowdsourcing a million opinions. And by the way, most people on like the filmmaker subreddit have never been paid a dime for filmmaking. Why are you chasing opinions from a bunch of filmmaking wannabe Uber drivers? Why do you think other people know more than you do? See it within yourself. Back to the second lesson. So a lot of times what that means is being a leader. A lot of times being a leader means bucking advice. People on social media and people in other filmmaking communities are always going to like talk down to you and be know-it-alls and think they know everything. And there's always going to be people who think that it's their job to educate you and talk down to you. And they're going to shame you and guilt you for not taking their advice. Because they think they know every damn thing. But being a leader in yourself, that might mean bucking advice, going against the traditional wisdom. But if you think about it, like the people who are most successful, they always go against traditional wisdom. They're creating their own space. They're creating their own lanes. There's all these people on YouTube who made their own genre of content and got millions of followers off of it. So like the lesson is you got to be a leader and trust yourself and your own judgment, your own inner knowledge and your own inner guidance, as opposed to asking for 50 million opinions. Jesus Christ. Now, the third major mistake, now this is mostly about the sound recording. The sound recording was a hot mess. And the mistake that I made with that was kind of like trusting that the company I hired knew what they were doing and not like checking up behind them, not checking the work every single day. See, what happened was we were just filming everything straight through, and he didn't give me the hard drive with the footage and the sound on it until we were done. So I was just trusting and assuming that he was a professional. He's done this before a million times. He knows what he's doing, but I was wrong. Half of the sound was absolutely unusable. Half of the sound was so poorly recorded. It was a hot mess. So that was another huge mistake, was just trusting people to deliver high quality work without checking with them on a daily basis. And that would never happen again. But being overly trusting of other people and not trusting yourself was a humongous mistake that I will not make again. The third lesson, it kind of resonates with the first two. You got to be more of a leader, trusting yourself, follow your own inner guidance, and knowing that you do have the power and the capability to actually make this a big success. But overall, the lesson is I got to be more proactive, less reactive, more active, less passive, more of a leader, less of a follower, more of a boss, and less of a bitch. That's all I had to say. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and please check out some other video somewhere in this area or possibly over here. We'll see what happens.